What if everything you've lived until now was, in truth, a sacred journey to reunite you with your true essence, an essence born beyond the stars? Today, that question takes on a new meaning through the real and deeply transformative story of Donovan. This story holds a special place in our hearts because it was thanks to a video shared on this very channel. The story of Luisa, a starseed from Antares, that Donovan experienced an awakening that changed the course of his life. That story was the spark that opened a long-sealed inner door, a door that led him to recognize himself as what he had always been. Driven by that inner calling, he decided to contact Yared, the medium, shaman, and stellar transmitter who had guided Luisa in her connection with her star family. Yared has a YouTube and Instagram channel called Reprogramarte, where, together with Silvia, she shares channeled transmissions coming from Meritaten. Yes, the very same Meritaten, Egyptian princess of the 18th Dynasty, known throughout history. Through these transmissions, Meritaten shares her wisdom and spiritual guidance, with Yared serving as the transmitter of these messages, accompanied by Silvia, thus creating a space of deep contact with stellar consciousness and ancestral memories. We currently collaborate with Reprogramarte, and thanks to these transmissions, Donovan was able to communicate with his star family, as did Luisa and other starseeds from different races: Charistus, Urma, Amalie, Antarians, Elohi, Taigeta, and now Engan, as well as many others who prefer to remain anonymous. However, there are stellar beings like Donovan who choose to share their stories to show the way to others, because it is indeed possible to tear the veil of the matrix and open a window to communicate with one's star family. What happened next was extraordinary. In his own session with Yared, Donovan not only awakened memories of a life beyond time, but also felt a deep need to share his experience. He sent us his story along with the audio recordings of his connection with his star family, with a clear and luminous purpose: to build a bridge to other starseeds, to remind them that they are not alone, that their search has meaning, and that, here and in the depths of the cosmos, there are other souls resonating with the same questions. Today we present to you Donovan's journey, a starseed whose origin lies in Electra, 17 Tauri, the third brightest star in the Pleiades star cluster, located about 440 light-years from Earth. Electra is the home of the Engan, a luminous, wise, and deeply spiritual society whose traces still reverberate in our collective memory. With all the material Donovan shared, his story, the audios, his experiences, we have created this testimony in the hope that something will awaken in you as well. A memory, an intuition, an ancient echo that has been calling for a long time. But before we continue, we want to be completely honest with you. Here, we will not try to convince you of anything. This is not about believing or not believing. It is about listening with an open heart, taking what resonates with you, and letting go of what does not fit your own path. We know that information about the Engan race, mixed among books, movies, and theories, may lead some to label it as science fiction. That is understandable. But this story is not meant to feed fantasies. It is directed at those who know how to look beyond the veils, at those who are able to feel from intuition, and not only from the mind. We document dates, moments, and details for a reason. Each piece has its place within a greater cosmic map. We ask you to keep them in mind. It is true that on Earth, there is fragmented information about the Engan, a mixture of the stellar and the human that has given rise to myths, legends, and stories. that today we see reflected in cinema and popular culture. Valhalla, Asgard, Odin, the gods and Viking warriors. These are not merely inventions. They are human reinterpretations of much older memories, adapted to our language and understanding. But as often happens, all knowledge of stellar origin eventually becomes wrapped in the mantle of science fiction, making it difficult for an untrained mind to grasp its depth. Because what we call fantasy here is reality out there. However, this video is not about the Engan as a collective. Here we share the story of one, Donovan. It is not a general message, nor a communication on behalf of his race. It is an intimate encounter between a starseed and his home. A conversation that reveals the sensitivity, strength, mysticism, and nobility of the Engan as they truly are, without embellishment or interpretation. Donovan has chosen to open his heart and share his truth so that those who resonate with this information may find clarity, recognition, and a sense of belonging. Prepare yourself, because what you are about to hear is not just a story. It is a call to remembrance, and it may awaken something familiar within a quiet corner of your soul. Imagine that your entire life, every breath, every wound, every impossible coincidence, was actually part of a greater design, an invisible map guiding you back to an origin that is not on Earth, but among the stars. The story you are about to hear is born precisely there, in that threshold where the human touches the infinite. It is the real story of Donovan, or, as he would later remember, of Vinhar. His journey began in Houston, Texas in 1988. In the roar of a hurricane shaking the city, as if the earth itself were warning, this child is coming with a mission. The early years unfolded in silence and premature lessons in suffering. At 7 years old, his world shattered. Between the ages of 7 and 11, he lived surrounded by abandonment, fear, and abuses that scarred both his body and spirit. Anxiety visited him like a constant shadow, and the medication he was forced to take damaged his organs while he learned, far too early, what it meant to survive. At 11, he sought refuge in his father's home. But school became a battlefield, and the bullying forced him to flee once again. At 18, the universe revealed its face. A car accident left him in a coma for 2 days, long enough to cross a threshold. In that state, he saw a white light without body or weight. He heard a dual voice, masculine and feminine at once, surrounding him with a love he had never known. That voice was his star guide, and also his twin soul. When he returned to life, his recovery defied medicine. He was meant to remember. Then began his journey around the world: Germany, Mexico, Colombia, China, and 63 more countries. He was searching for something he did not yet know how to name. It was in Mexico where he saw, for the first time, the largest thing he had ever witnessed: a gigantic craft that filled him with peace instead of fear. Years later, the medium Yared would tell him it belonged to an old Syrian friend. In Beijing, he experienced one of the most bewildering episodes of his life. A red light floating outside his window, a voice calming him, his building detaching and merging with a ship, beings observing him, and the phrase, "Here, we are all the same." He awoke unsure whether it had been a dream, a contact, or both. Then came the years of inner silence, meditation, and nights without a spiritual home. He knew love and healing, and he also knew war and loss. He suffered physical relapses that threatened to destroy him, yet he always rose again. And then came the summer of 2023. While teaching in Switzerland, he saw a UFO through the window. Later, he found a video on our channel, Cosmic Renewal, about the Syrians. And he recognized the ship in the video as the same one he had seen that afternoon. That recognition opened a new portal in his life. He decided to travel to Luxor, Egypt, in search of answers. While meditating on the rooftop of his lodging, the universe began to speak to him. A white owl stared directly into his eyes. 2 white cats crossed his path. 3 white doves greeted him upon returning. Then 7 aligned UFOs, then 9, then 17. And a colossal white ship, the size of 3 cruise liners, suspended above him as a reminder. You are not here by accident. Donovan felt he needed to leave Earth. Carrying a rose during his meditations became his way of preparing for an encounter with his star twin soul. But the contact did not come, and he returned, exhausted and wounded, to his country. Months later, he changed his Tinder location to Helsinki and met a woman who would become his best friend. He was the one who spoke to her about extraterrestrials, UFOs, experiences beyond the human realm. She listened, although she did not yet dare to believe. In January 2024, he traveled to Poland. One night on a hill, he felt death close around him. He ran back to the city. He turned on his phone to contact his friend, and she had felt the same thing at the same moment. Panic attacks, the sensation of imminent danger. Something was happening in another layer of reality. After speaking with Yared, they both discovered that they were starseeds of the Engan race, originally from Electra, the 3rd brightest star in the Pleiades cluster. She had been his mentor in alchemy in a past life in Asgard. And that night, a reptilian being had attempted to capture him. What she felt was the exact echo of real danger. In the summer of 2024, an illness weakened him completely. Flu, inflammation, migraines, deep pain. But instead of fear, he felt peace. The next day, he watched a video about a starseed from Antares, and he knew he had to contact Yared. That call transformed him. He remembered who he was. He remembered his true name, Vinhar. He remembered his star mother, Senya, Freya. He remembered Odin, his father. He remembered Egypt, not as a fantasy, but as a point of contact. After awakening, he withdrew for 3 months to the mountains of Georgia to rebuild himself from within. And since March 2025, he has lived in Da Nang, Vietnam, dedicating his life to helping other starseeds remember, heal, and awaken. His life force flourishes, the fear is gone, and his body, at last, is beginning to heal completely. What you will find in this video is not just the story of a man. It is a map, a mirror, a reminder, a call to remembrance. Because perhaps in a deep and quiet corner of your soul, this journey also concerns you. We have shared a brief summary of Donovan's story at his own request, so that you have a clear and accurate context. Where this information comes from, and how he came to access everything he has shared with us. This took place in the year 2024. Because Yared and Donovan live in different countries, the communication takes place via video call, just as it did with Luisa, the Antares starseed. A pattern can be observed in these transmissions. A guide always appears, the guardian chosen by the starseed before incarnating on Earth. This guide manages and protects the transmission while the starseeds speak with their star family. There is no possibility of unwanted interference. The guides are beings of extremely high frequency and superior intelligence, capable of anticipating what you have not yet asked. The conversation is divided into 2 parts. First, there is an interaction with the guide, male or female, depending on how they identify, only to facilitate human understanding and closeness. These guides are beyond our comprehension. They are beings who have lived many lives, and they fulfill this role because, as expert teachers, they master the very experiences the Starseed came here to explore. That is why they accompany and orient the process from a level that transcends our perspective. Later on, we will make a video dedicated exclusively to the guides. They are the ones who open the doorway of the transmission into communication with the Starseeds family at the Starseeds' request. They are there to answer the deep, existential questions a person may carry, and that is why, after a session, no one ever returns to being the same. The veil of the Matrix, or what we call reality, begins to crack, and life is seen through different eyes, from a more expanded state of consciousness. With that clarified, we begin the transmission.
Thank you. It is an honor for me to be here today. Before delivering the message, I would like to properly introduce myself. I am Gamalia, the one with whom you made the agreement before incarnating, not only in this human life, but in others as well. I have accompanied you for eons past, so that your human mind may understand it. Eons, although time does not exist, and all of this was spoken at the same time. I have accompanied you through many lives, but on Earth, I must take on an identity in order to make myself present, to deliver messages, and to guide you. It is my attributes, those I have developed after so many experiences across countless incarnations, that allow me to work within this, your life on Earth. Karma does not exist, and you already know this, but one must free oneself from the ideas created during incarnations, attachments that are carried over from other lives. So why did I enter Earth? You asked me. To free yourself, from ideas, from the attachments you created life after life. You entered Earth not only to know who you are, but to release many beliefs. Earth is not the only planet that has conflicts or wars. Other planets have already experienced them, or will experience them. That is why you felt you were carrying so much, and why you do not feel that you belong to planet Earth. You entered there for one simple reason: to recreate yourself, to begin again, as a renewal, an expansion, a liberation. More than a lesson, for you it is a rest from those difficult lives of the past. That is why you travel in search of yourself, yet you have not found yourself, because it is not outside, it is within you. In understanding yourself, in accepting that everything that has happened in this life, as in previous ones, was simply part of an experience. That is why I am your guide in the liberation from karma, which, although it does not exist, still functions while beings are incarnated, whether on Earth or on other planes, in other lives. In the end, it is the idea of being something and wanting to be someone that limits you. You are part of a higher consciousness. You already understand this. You already know it. And while you are on Earth, you have many missions. And not only that soul mission that is uniquely yours. Now, what about the identity that already exists outside of Earth? It also carries missions, ideas. For this is how the soul is freeing itself and connecting. There is a part of your consciousness that is creating living experiences. You already exist outside of Earth, yet that being chose to enter Earth. So what is happening? That being is the one I spoke to you about before, the one who carries ideas, guilt, and attachments, and who enters Earth with a mission to liberate others, to help them do the same. A part of your consciousness also entered, but first you must find yourself in order to continue along the path of the mission of what you would call your star being, which is still you, the same consciousness, in a different body, more expanded in truth, but simply, plainly, it is you. Again, and this is what I have helped you with, you are nothing more than the character you create. And I accept, as on other occasions, to be your guide once more while you are on Earth. That is why we have already spent eons together, being your guide and also learning from you, from your experiences. Now then, what is my message? Why am I here today? To give you clarity. The more you search for yourself, the less you find yourself. Stop, breathe, and observe. To find yourself, you must know yourself by observing yourself. What do you like? What don't you like? Because that is how you will anticipate those things you do not enjoy experiencing. That is what you call being connected, awake, even more present in what you are. When you truly know who you are, as the character you yourself have created, you become invincible within this reality. That is why they distract you with one thing and another, because people do not stop to know themselves, so they do not understand themselves and do not listen to themselves. You are in the process, I know. I know you listen to yourself and you understand yourself, but you also have to learn to express it. Say no when it is no, without the fear of hurting anyone. You cannot hurt anyone simply by setting boundaries. They hurt themselves because they want something that is outside of them. They are asking someone else for it. Learn to set boundaries. Learn to listen to yourself. That is the message for you today. Your stone, like mine, tiger's eye, hawk's eye, tiger's gold, strength, hawk's eye, vision. I am Gamalia. It is an honor for me to be here today.
After this beautiful communication with his spiritual guide and guardian, Gamalia, we move into a different transmission. This time, the connection is with his star family, and we wish to share it with you. Here begins the transmission.
Thank you for the reception. Thank you for allowing yourself to listen to this message. My name is Vinhar, star, Electra, constellation, M45, star race, Engan. I am Vinhar of Asgard and Engan, which means that I dwell between these two planets. I greet you. I am your guide or guardian. First, before moving ahead of anything, and before any misunderstanding of what a guide or guardian is, you are, as you already know, your intuition has told you many times, on Earth in a technological way. You exist and you are of this race, and your human life has led you to be as Engan as possible. Travelers, conquerors, fighters, warriors, challenging the circumstances of life. That is who you are, because that is your soul. You do this because it is who you have always been. At times the body grows tired of traveling, but our soul always remembers where to go, which places to know. You are in the places where you are because, before entering Earth as a human, you made those same journeys as a non-human, with your ship. You flew over many regions of what is now known as America. In those times, it was known as Lower Atlantis, which extended from Sedona, Arizona, to Patagonia, Argentina. That was your flight zone. It is no coincidence. This is your calling, where you are meant to be. At this moment, you already know where to go. Your heart has already asked it of you, and the time has come to move, because for there to be a change in your consciousness, there must also be a change in the reality you project outward. Nature calls you, the mountains call your name. Your essence will go where the mountains are for a time to find yourself and reunite with yourself, because you need to recharge your energy in order to continue your own journey where you are. I hope I have been of service to you.
Hello, Mikar. What is your physical appearance like?
As I told you, we were on Earth a long time ago. Some of our ships still fly over human skies, mainly to watch over our seeds, like you, beings who belong to our race and who still choose to be there, living a human experience. Our appearance is more Nordic. We are Pleiadians with a human-like appearance, tall in stature, muscular in build. This may sound a bit strange to you, but Odin is still our leader. On Earth, we were known as the great Viking conquerors, but we are not bloodthirsty. We are warriors, but we are not warlike. Humanity changes greatly. Stories become distorted. Yes, we are Viking warriors, but we do not have the appearance attributed to human Vikings. That came after our departure. Our race is highly technological. Because of this, you entered Earth through immersion technology. I will give you a brief description of myself. I am 1.86 meters tall, weigh approximately 90 kilograms. My build is athletic and muscular. My hair is reddish. My eyes are gray, and my beard is quite thick. Almost exactly as you have planned your avatar, very similar to us, so that you do not forget where you come from. At times, gardener beings have been sent to you, small gray beings who adjust the biology of the human avatar so that it can function properly within Earth. As men of the Viking Engan race, we possess great physical and spiritual strength, and it is this spiritual energy that often needs to be realigned so that we may continue, as in your case, to function within a reality of very low frequency. We are beings of high 5D, low 6D, spiritual, technological, with profound knowledge of ancient magic. We are still guardians of ancient knowledge, wisdom that only our race holds. Despite being warriors, we are also keepers of ancient magic, similar to what on Earth is known as Wicca. The runes are part of us. This is who we are, and this is who I am. This is who you were, and who you still are. But you decide whether you will continue to be so in the future, because you are the one experiencing incarnation there on Earth and here. Each incarnation is an expansion of consciousness, and each being chooses their own path. This is who you are before entering Earth. When you leave there, you are the one who decides, no one else.
I always see blue beings in my dreams. I wanted to know if on our planet there are people with blue or green skin tones, or if they are only white-skinned like the people here.
Some Celians are our friends. They come in to share their knowledge, and we share ours with them. Alchemy is one of the things we work with. So, among the beings who may have been around you at some point, there are Celians from Celio, right here in the Pleiades. So, if we see people moving around you, all blue in color, with hair that is sometimes dark, chestnut brown, or black, those are from Celio, Celians.
What is my connection to you, Mikar?
Let me give you some context. Before entering the immersion into Earth so that you understand me, you need someone to support your avatar or original out here. Because as I said, you enter in a technological way, so you choose certain people. We form a team. We already were. I'm saying we because besides me, we were already a team of between 6 and 8. I say between 6 and 8 because sometimes the other two patrol outside Earth. So here beside you, where you are in immersion, there are 6 of us with you. We would be 9 in total. That is your team's number. You left direct instructions for me, so that at the moment you needed something, I could intervene directly. We trust that your decision to enter Earth is the right one, so we support you as a team. You have given each one of us instructions individually. To me, the most important ones. Those related to your development on Earth, the information gathered from your life experience there, and everything related to your expansion of consciousness. Those objectives you entered to seek and accomplish, both on the physical side and the non-physical side, within that reality. This is who I am, your teammate, friend, and leader of your own expedition to Earth as a human. What led you to incarnate on Earth? You might ask me. The answer is, something smelled rotten there, and we wanted to know what it was. From the outside, not everything can be seen clearly, because our consciousness understands better what is happening, and it is a bit complicated to discern it. It is discerned better when the experience is lived, as in your case. By living the experience, you understand that there are things that are absurd within that reality. So we gather all that information here for you, so that when you come out, you can explain to us, please, what is happening. This is one of your tasks while you are there on Earth. So we are friends, companions in that adventure you have decided to live. Also, a guide, because I sometimes send you signs, some obvious, others not so much, like the information you received. That's why I am here today. That is how everything is handled, after all. The matrix you are in is a numerical matrix. It moves through algorithms that change according to your frequency and your capacity to receive information. The greater your consciousness, that is, the closer you get to your frequency goal, the more easily information about who you are reaches you. This is why we are having this communication. It means you have begun your path back to yourself. Even if you began the search many years ago, the path is found once, and once you enter the path, only the return home remains. We are here, both on the planet Asgard and in Earth's orbit, your team looking after you. This is who we are, a team, friends, companions, who will not leave you alone when it comes time to do something crazy. We are with you, one way or another, in a ship in Earth's orbit, entering through there to make ourselves visible to you, or out here, maintaining or gathering data.
How old is my original avatar? How long does the Engan race live?
We are very long-lived compared to humans, but don't let that mislead you or give you a wrong idea of what we look like. Remember that we are a race with a lot of technology. We live beyond 1,500 linear human years. So after 1,500 years of living a life, many times we get bored and do crazy things, like yours. Your consciousness is around 900 years old. We don't really calculate it. I'm making an estimate. Now that is the time of your consciousness in a body. Your physical appearance is younger. Without lying, your avatar's appearance is between 30 and 35 human years old, as an age range so you can understand. That's why you had several abductions by the gardener race, so they could stabilize your energy, because it is very strong. In other words, your presence on Earth is very strong. Engan are like that. So you are a being with a physical appearance, between 30 and 35 years old, quite tall for our race, speaking in centimeters, about 1.92 meters. Your weight is approximately like mine. Now that you are in immersion, of course you are only being fed with serums, vitamins, and liquid foods. The body remains alive here. It needs nourishment. There is a kind of tubes and cables around your whole body. Some are measuring your physical frequency there on Earth. Others, your soul frequency. Others are receiving information, others are feeding you, and others are emanating a frequency so you remain in that state of consciousness. Many cables from out here look like a lot, but it's not that much when you're inside. You can move with full freedom in there, stretching and bending your legs as reactions of the body itself. Yes, you're going to ask me what your name is. But I'll tell you after I tell you a bit more about your appearance. On your right arm, you have a scar that was made after a fight. You decided to keep it and not go into a medical pod to heal it. Since it was something simple, you decided to let it heal naturally. So the scar remained. On one of your legs, the left one, on the calf, in the back, there is another scar with a rounded shape. You never told us how you got it, but it's there, and I'm telling you so you know. You are a person with a physical body. There is more humanity out here. Your hands are large, and they were injured because you like to do things with your hands, especially weapons like swords and a kind of axe that you carve with your own hands, from the wood all the way to the axe's edge. You like to have them. You say you feel more in your power with them, especially when you make them yourself. As I told you, you look between 30 and 35 years old. Your hair is short, reddish-brown. Your eyes are blue, a very deep blue, a resemblance to those Vikings who existed on Earth, but also to the Irish. In the end, Ireland and England went to colonize the place where you were born. Just remember that. Yes, I know your name. As the name of a Viking, it has to be that of a warrior, father of the sun, and, like the sun, the father. Vinhar, that is your name, son of Odin.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. The transmission continues, but we'll leave it for a second part, so the path stays light and the experience feels gentler. Before we say goodbye for now, we'd like to share a message from Donovan.
There is a message I wish to share with those who may feel a connection to this story or to the Engan lineage. If this call resonates within you, perhaps it is meant for you. More than ever, I believe in the power and impact of these videos, and I want this one to be seen as a call for those who may feel they are connected to me, and or to the Engan. Let us come together, rekindle the bonds, and grow as the family we are. It is not yet time to return to the stars with our loved ones, so let us make the most of this time and build a home. Not a place, but a people, a community, where even from afar, the bond our souls share can never be broken, and we can never truly be alone. Additionally, there are two Engan, my brother Lug Odinson and a very special Icelandic woman. Your sisters and I are waiting for you, with open hearts and awakened memory, ready to recognize you when you hear the call.
Thank you for staying with us until the end. What you've heard is not just a testimony. It is a bridge between dimensions, a sacred dialogue in which Donovan, Vinhar, opened his story to honor his truth and to accompany those who feel their longing comes from beyond this lifetime. This process is accompanied by guides and guardians of high vibration, and it is also supported here on Earth by people like Donovan and Yared. We ask for your patience with them. Beyond this mission, they live their own rhythms, responsibilities, and human processes. Below, we're sharing their Instagram accounts. What happened today is only one part of a greater awakening. Contact with the cosmos no longer arrives like it does in science fiction. It can appear through a channeling, a lucid dream, a synchronicity, a moment of silence, or even a message that shows up by chance. There is no single path. What matters is what the message awakens within you. If it brings you peace, clarity, and liberation, listen to your heart. Truth cannot be manipulated there. Luisa, whose story inspired this awakening, continues communicating with her star family through Yared, making the extraordinary feel intimate and natural. Thank you for listening, for feeling, and for remembering. The story continues, and perhaps yours has already begun. Special thanks. Thank you for being part of the energy we create and share with the world. Your support is the quiet yet powerful foundation that allows us to keep growing, inspiring, and touching hearts. This journey is yours too. Infinite thanks.